Hello, this is the Meta Man bringing you a very, very important video today because it's about scams. Now, the stock market is highly regulated, but the crypto market is not highly regulated, and so scams are even easier. And are there scams in the stock market? Yes. 127 scams in 2021 were prosecuted by the Securities and Exchange Commission in the United States, 127. And the crypto market is completely unregulated, which is good news because it's decentralized, but that means the possibility for scams is even more prevalent. So you must watch this. Now, hopefully you'll never, ever, ever be scammed. But the scam is so alluring, it's so exciting. Your greed glands start flowing, and you FOMO. What is FOMO? Fear of missing out. And when fear of missing out hits you, and when these giant claims get you excited, you might fall victim to this. You might say, oh no, I'm too smart for that. Yeah, but when you hear it, you'll see. So let me give you typical scam. It's called pump and dump, and it has two kinds, and I'm going to explain both kinds. But first, I want to tell you what I'm wearing. I'm Jewish, but my wife is Roman Catholic. And when she was growing up, she always got a gift of a onesie at Christmas, and the whole family wore it on Boxing Day. And so today is Boxing Day, and I'm wearing my Canada onesie very, very proudly. So let's go on. How does this work? So pump and dump, there's two kinds. The first type is a person, or typically a group of people, get together and they choose one coin, and it has to have one very specific characteristic. It has to be a microcoin. It has to have very little liquidity. In other words, it has to be way, way down in the list. I don't mean not in the top 100. I mean, not even in the top 1,000. I mean, it's 2 or 3 or 4,000 down the list. And what they do is they concoct a story. Maybe there's a germ of correctness in the story, but they exaggerate it wildly. And they say things that are mysterious, like big news is coming out. Big news is coming out, and they say a date. And then you get excited. Oh my gosh, I have like insider information when this big news is revealed. And yes, I heard about that particular thing, but then there's an exaggeration. And what people do is they get caught up in the frenzy. And then the initial group, the initial illegal group, gets together and they start buying. Well, several $1,000s of purchase of an illiquid micro coin can move it considerably from, let's say, 10 cents to 30 cents. Well, that's 3x. And then up to $3, that's 10x. And as it goes like that, more and more people say, oh my gosh, I've heard about that, because there are messaging apps like Discord and Telegram where you can remain anonymous. And so pump and dumpers love remaining anonymous so they don't get their reputation injured, so they can keep doing it again next month and the next month and the next month. But sometimes they're so brazen that they just do it on social media. They'll create a new platform, a new Facebook group, particularly for that coin, and they'll tell you, oh my gosh, it's coming soon. This is it. I know who the promoters are. I know who the developer is. I know who they just hired, and it's not public knowledge yet. And this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. And a new president is just going to be hired from some other giant coin. They really know how to weave a story. And then with small amounts, several $1,000s of investment, that coin can go wild. It can go up 50x or 100x. And then other people hear about it. And those are the marks. The marks are the targets. And so the marks just ape in, saying, oh my gosh, this must be amazing. And that's what the pumpers and dumpers want. They want to put in their $5 or $10 or $15,000 to greatly put the coin up. And then they want to tell all this mysterious hype so that other people get excited, and then the marks come in and they buy and buy and buy. And then when a particular price comes up, that the insiders, the original group of bad guys, when they decide maybe the price is $1, when it hits $1 and they've gone up maybe 100x by that time, so they're $10,000 times 100 turns into $1 million. Yes, their $10,000 can turn into $1 million. And when the price hits the dollar level, they start selling. Now, they don't actually get their full million because when they sell, there's not that many buyers around. There's some marks that are still excited and eager, but not that many. So they may only get to sell half of it. So that's $500,000. They bought it at a penny. They shot it up to $1 and they started selling at $1, and maybe they sold at $1 down to 90 cents, down to 80 cents, and then there were no more buyers. But they typically can make $500,000 on a $10,000 investment. That's pretty darn good. And if they remained anonymous, then they can do it again next month on a completely different coin with a completely different story. And nobody knows about them because they use anonymous messaging services. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to show you a couple coins that actually did this. Here's the first coin, and it is AFROSTAR. Now, I heard about AFROSTAR in 2021, and the person I heard it from said, this is going to be big. They've gone to every single minister of finance of every single African country, and they've agreed to use AFROSTAR coin as the medium of exchange, because Africa, probably the poorest of all continents, is divided into, I don't know, about 30 different countries, and each country has its own sovereign fiat currency. Some of them are not really respected on the world stage. And so it's hard for African nations to do business with neighboring African nations because they don't really have a medium of exchange. Well, if they all can use AFROSTAR and it can be traded instantly, then my gosh, this will aid the commerce inside Africa, dramatically help Africa. I heard this huge story. And it's coming. It's only 9 days away. It's only 8 days away. And then here's the thing that triggered me. They said, Raymond, you're a big influencer. If you do just these 3 little things, we will give you 1 billion AFROSTAR coins. 1 billion AFROSTAR coins? I said, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And I could easily do that. And I am an influencer. And it sounds like a wonderful idea. It sounds like a great idea to help Africa. And then I said, you know what? If someone's going to give me 1 billion coins, this must be a scam. And so you can see that I've shown the maximum time, and AFROSTAR launched in November of this year, just a couple months ago. And it started at $0.0000006. And then it went absolutely straight downhill as the initial people were hyping it up so new marks would come in, and they were selling and selling and selling. And now CoinGecko doesn't even know its market cap rank. It doesn't know anything. It doesn't know its current price. The all-time low was 11 days ago. And if you'd like me to tell you the all-time low, you can see it at the bottom right of your screen, $0.000000007. That's like 7 billionths of a dollar. Wow. And let me show you another one. This is called GlobalGive. Now, GlobalGive had better promoters. It looked like it was a better scam, because GlobalGive said there's people who want to donate, but they can't donate to a cause that's in another area of the world unless they happen to use a global charity like Red Cross, for example. But if you actually want to donate to a particular charity in another country, then the transfer of money is difficult and unsure. Wouldn't it be great if you could use a coin transfer, which is instantaneous? And I said, Jim, that sounds like a very interesting thing. And then the hype started, and I said, uh-oh, I don't like this. I mean, if they just told me how wonderful it was, I might be quite interested. But they went on and on that they've got the minister of finance of this country, and they've got the president of that country who's just about to endorse it, but it's a secret so far. I can't tell you which country, but it's one of the G7 countries, on and on and on. And so look what happened. You can see on the bottom right, this is the maximum lifetime. So it started in May of this year. So it's less than half a year old. It started somewhere around 0, maybe, I don't know, 1/100 of a cent, and it shot up to 2.5 cents. That's like, I don't know, 1,000x, something like that. So the people who got in really made a fortune, because you can see it took a long time. It took like a month for that coin to go back down to zero. But in that time, there was enough time for the early promoters to get their money out. If it had gone up 1,000x or 10,000x, like doesn't even make sense, then they still had a lot of time to get their money out. Now, I said there's two kinds of pump and dump scams. One type is where a group of bad guys get together and they choose a tiny micro cap coin. But the other scam is where the promoters themselves intend it to be a scam. In any case, as far as you're concerned, it doesn't matter in the slightest. And by the way, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe GlobalGive and AFROSTAR are really good coins and they're going to do really well in the future. I don't know, but it smells stinky. If it smells like a pig and it looks like a pig and it stinks like a pig, it's probably a pig. So if you want to get great coins, then go right here, because I have a playlist that talks about the price prediction of really good coins. Now, could they go to zero? Yeah, but they're not going to go to zero because of a scam. And this is Boxing Day. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be wearing my Christmas onesie for you. And I'm happy to be alerting you to the good and the bad of crypto. Thank you for listening to that entire video. Click right here to learn about Render, the most incredible coin in the metaverse. Click right there where it says Meta in order to subscribe, and click right there to play my previous video. Thank you.